Welcome to Wellingborough Organisations Community Forum. We're here working together for the people of Wellingborough. On today's forum, there we go. On today's forum, we're going to do introductions in a sec, and then we're going to talk about what's on in Wellingborough. There's loads of things on in Wellingborough, and if we've got time, we'll talk about working together. So we're all back in the room. I've got a lovely picture of you, Val, on the screen, which means you get the pleasure of introducing yourself first.
Right, okay. Technically, I should be retired, but that's a dirty word in our house. So I have been for the nearly 17 years now a utility warehouse partner. So I don't know if you know what utility warehouse is, Tonya, but we help people save money on their bills. But one thing I'm really passionate about is making sure people understand their energy bills. And I'm always up for going out, looking at people's bills, particularly elderly people who really don't understand what they're paying for and trying to explain it to them. Not necessarily getting them to switch to me, but just it's something I'm quite passionate about because I never understood them till I started doing this because they are a bit of a minefield. But if you don't know about us, we supply energy, broadband, mobile, and some house insurances, and we generally save people money. And it's a very personal service that people get. So that's me, really. And
hello and welcome.
Okay.
Would you like to go next, Tonya?
Okay, my name's Tonya and I work for Northamptonshire Children's Trust as a community connector, and my base is the Wellingborough Family Hub, formerly Penrith Children's Centre. And it's my job, and I cover the whole of Northampton, not just Wellingborough, I will say that there. It's my job to link in with all our partners who support children, families and young people across my locality. So I link a lot with schools, under 5 settings, any voluntary and community sector organisation, sometimes private organisations, faith groups, support groups, and try and make sure they've got the right information for them to join the networks and forums, and to make sure help set up new groups, make sure those that are running things find out their information sent out to families, so families knows what's on. So it's all that connecting work I do. So but I've been doing it now for 6.5 years, so I say my job is to be generally very nosy. And
I was going to say you do it very well, Tonya.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure that last
penny
bit.
I pop up, don't I, Jonathan? On that penny I pop up.
You do. It's great. It's great. Right. I suppose I better introduce myself as well. I'm Jonathan. I help to run the Eco Group. I was a CART member pioneer, so we restarted this forum with the co-op. It was quite popular at one stage, which was quite good. Been a bit quieter the last few months. Not sure why, which is why I've changed it till 2 today instead of 1 o'clock, because I thought that might be different. The reason, as I was saying to Val, is why we're not in the hub, the Eco Hub this month, is because it's a bit of a muddle, because we've just been inundated with lots and lots of donations, which is very kind of everybody, but it does mean that sort of you have to kind of shuffle in and out, and trying to have a forum in the hub at the moment probably isn't going to happen. But I have had a couple of requests from other people to say they would like to meet physically rather than virtually, so we'll be back there next month and see how that goes. I personally have a bit of an issue because I've got to pick a boy up, my son up at 3:15 at school, so 2 till 3 is a bit of a squeeze to rush down the hill to get a boy, which is why I moved it forward an hour. But we could probably do, I don't know, 1:30, 2:30 or whatever people think's best.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, Jonathan, it's always the last Friday of the month, and I do tend to the last few times I've been on annual leave. So I always
Well,
seem to have
this is
that Friday off or there's another meeting on. So I do apologise. But if I'm free, I
don't
do try and rock
don't
up.
don't be sorry. No, it's one of those. It works on a Friday afternoon, I think, because people have generally wound down a little bit, and I think it works for people. I'm just wondering if 1 o'clock's a bit too early, because obviously people still having their lunch or whatever. So possibly half one, I don't know, 2 o'clock would be ideal, just to sort of fill that in.
I
Um,
think a bit of promotion as well. So, you know, what are the aims and objectives? Is it just networking? What is it? So people know what they're turning up to, Jonathan.
yeah, I think so too. I think so. It's a strange one because I don't know if you were at the Queensway partnership the other day, and that was rammed. That was absolutely rammed. And actually, 12 months ago,
That
we were.
wasn't.
It really wasn't, but we were having loads of people on ours. Do you know what I mean? Like we've had 10, 20 people sometimes on these. Do you know what I mean? I remember one day at the Eco Hub, I think because the police turned up en masse as much as anything, but there was about 15 people trying to squeeze into that tiny little room. And we were honestly going, oh, perhaps we need, just like the conversation at the Queensway Forum, perhaps we need to find a bigger venue. But obviously, it's all
Mm.
switched around a bit. Don't know.
No, I was just thinking, I mean, do you promote this through the voluntary and community sector newsletter that goes out?
No, I think that's possibly something that myself and you probably need to touch base on. I did get an email via Francesca with some excellent courses that you sort of suggested that I looked at. Um,
Oh, Fran, my lovely BSO. Yeah.
yeah, well, yeah, you got a Fran. I didn't know whether to shorten it or
Oh,
not.
she's Fran. She's lovely. She's
She
absolutely
sounds
amazing,
lush, bless her.
Francine.
She sounds lush, but yeah, no, I've shared that with the group, and there's loads and loads of courses. Perhaps I'll talk to people about that later. Um, but yeah, something like that, because it's a funny thing. I think when I was doing it as the co-op, because I was just out there sharing all the time about everybody's stuff and able to connect with people all the time, obviously there was more of an opportunity to do that. Do you see what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
now as
Yeah.
I'm kind of shrunk a bit, and probably doing even more with the eco group, obviously I've lost that focus on trying to connect people. Plus, also I'm doing it for free, whereas I used to get paid a couple of quid to do these things. So
Yeah.
that does make a bit of a difference, doesn't it? In sort of
It does. It does indeed. Yes. Yeah, definitely.
yeah. So
But
it's a
there
shame.
isn't any voluntary sector groups meeting in that cover the whole of Wellingborough, is there?
Not at all. You've got the laps,
Which is
which
online and was target setting the last couple, wasn't it? So, and there's no
I
actual work happening at the moment in those.
no.
There was no networking per se, was there? It was just a case of sit online and go for the data.
Well, that's the point, and it feels a bit kind of, I don't know. Let's just get on with something, sort of thing. Obviously, they have the clout of being the council, so obviously people
Mm.
do tend to gravitate towards that. I don't know. Like I say, the difference is that we tend to talk about things that are going on. So,
Yeah,
for instance, you will probably tell us, like Val will tell us in a second what she's doing for the month. You and I will do the same. And then obviously the real bonus is that I can put it all in a little video and then share it, and then hopefully a few people see it, and then I don't know, that sort of spirals.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's the plan anyway. We do have a
yeah.
plan here.
Yeah, we do have a plan.
We do have a plan. It's just like I say, it's our forum. If people don't want it, I won't do it. Do you know what I mean? It's simple as that. But it is about trying to connect Wellingborough Organisations, which is why it's called that, together for the benefit of people.
Yeah. I think we could get together and have put heads together how to promote it better and how to get people involved and get value out of it, Jonathan. I think it needs a bit of reinvigoration again, a relaunch almost again. Do you know what I mean? Give it a little push.
We can do that. We'll set up
Yeah,
a meeting perhaps later.
yeah,
Perhaps involve the likes of Joe from Glamis Hall, who's missed the last few, but actually came to about the last sort of 30 before that. She was like
yeah,
ever present, so not quite sure what's going on there. I think she's one that really doesn't want to be stuck on like one of these cool things, and there are a few people like that too. But
yeah, yeah,
you've got to have
yeah.
the space to do it. So I'll talk to her and see where we go from there. Um, Anywho. Anything to add to that, Val? 'Cause
No, not at all.
right, well,
Um,
guess who's on next? Because I'm going to ask if you've got anything to share as to what you're doing this month.
well, I go out and do promote utility warehouse at events like our 20k free prize draw. Nothing's really starting. The first one I'm doing at the moment is the 5th of April at Rushton Lakes for the Hope Centre. They've got a market bit there. I'll be at Wellingborough Carnival and Party in the Park. Oh, and I'm going to be taking 2 bronze days at Wendell Walk as well. So
Okay, cool.
that's a bit of sponsorship for the Wendell Walk. So
Yeah, you did well last year there, didn't you? Talking about the Wendell Walk. Like I say,
yeah,
you
not
got
bad.
prime position.
Yeah,
And like I say, you did well, obviously for the town, but also for yourself, because like I say, you had everybody walking past you, basically.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It
Yeah,
wasn't too bad. So that's really all I'm doing. And then if anybody would like me to come and sit in their venue for people to come and bring me their bills so I can show them what they should be looking at, be quite happy to do that as well.
fabulous. That sounds good. Fab.
I think I'm going to be doing that at Yvonne Randall's community cafe at some point.
Yeah,
how's
that's
that
a good
going?
spot.
Is that a
Yeah,
good spot?
That's a good
I've been
spot.
down there about 3 times, and it was in the early days when nobody was in there. But I've heard some really, really good things about it. Like a lot of people go in there and get a cheap
yeah,
breakfast on a Saturday morning, for instance.
and lunches.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had a bit of a declutter, so I've been taking stuff down there. And she puts them in a tombola and does all sorts of things with them. She worked so hard.
Oh yeah.
I've nominated her for the award you won last year.
What, the environmental one or the
No,
community one?
the community. I
Yeah,
can't remember now.
I know the one you mean. For the town
Yeah.
council, you mean? Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah. On that, Freddie's tricked me a little bit from the Wombles. He asked me to go and stand in for him there, and it turns out I'm now doing a presentation about the Wombles, which is typical Freddie.
But
I'll just
saying
be
that,
sitting there
Jonathan,
going, "Yeah, I can take an award for you, Freddie, if it happens." Do you know what I mean?
I
Yeah,
mean, saying that, I tried to get Freddie from the Wombles to come along and talk at our school peer support meetings with our
okay,
local schools to try and talk about what they're going to schools and do their presentations and their stuff, don't
yeah,
they? Get the
clean
children
presentation.
involved.
Yeah.
But because it was online, it was a no-go. So
Oh,
I
bless
may have to
you.
get you to stand in and do his presentation for me to locals. We had 60 local schools come to the last
Oh, that
one.
would be amazing. No, no, do invite me to that and give me a little bit of notice so I can swat
Yeah.
up because I'm not as
Yeah,
good as
yeah, you
Freddie.
probably have to swat up if there's any other Womble groups. I know that Welly Womble's doing help out in Royston now as well, because this is for
I am in
North
Rushton
Northampton
and
schools.
Borough,
And
Rules.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's the Kettering Wombles. We probably need a link for the Kettering Wombles to add to it.
not sure they're quite as active in things like that. I know it's very active in Northampton. So
It
I know
is, yeah.
that's, yeah,
But
very
we
active in
can
Northampton.
just say there is one.
There
And
is,
put
oh,
the
yeah, yeah,
Facebook,
there's
yeah,
one in
yeah. You
Corby
don't
too.
have to talk. Yeah, you don't have to talk about them. Just we have to include them as well because we have Corby and Kettering schools turn up to it as well. So we just have to make sure they're covered. They can contact their own Wombles group.
Oh yes,
See,
definitely.
yeah,
Yeah, we can't exclude any Wombles. Kettering's a funny one. They tend to and this is something I don't really agree with because obviously the eco group and pretty much everything I do now is completely unpolitical. But they try and make it a bit more political in Kettering. So like the Green Party will go out and do a little bit, then the Labour Party will go out and so on. And you just think,
why not just do
why
it
don't you all just do it
together?
together? Yeah, exactly. We're all here to work together. So the eco group's completely
Litter is not
non-political.
political. Litter is not political. Rubbish is
No,
not political.
we accept everybody. Have had comments before. Why are you in like from other sort of political parties? Why do you let that person come on your litter picks? I'm like, it's not about what your view is, it's about what you're doing and how much you care for your community. And
Yeah.
that's it. Do you know what I mean? If you want to have a political debate about it, perhaps a litter pick isn't the place to do it.
Yeah, it's true. But there's
Yeah.
been also been lots of positivity around the trees being planted everywhere at the moment, isn't there? There's been lots of
Absolutely
positivity I've
loads.
seen on social media, which is amazing. Really
Yeah,
good to the town. Yeah,
it is. Yeah,
yeah.
somebody called Chris, who's an admin on Wellingborough News and Info, also works for the council. So he's
I've
going around.
worked that one out.
I was just thinking, how is this man planting all these trees? Because originally it come across like he was the man planting like hundreds of trees, and you're like,
Is that Chris Smart?
Chris
Chris
Johnson, is it?
Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris Johnson. Sounds like a really nice guy, but I didn't know whether to like it or sort of go, what's going on first. But like I say, it's the council that are planting the big trees. Dare I say it, coughing my guts up because I've still got a little bit of my cold left. It's the eco group that are planting lots of little trees. So just to blow our little trumpet as well, we're doing 1,000 trees. We did 600 the other day in Kilbourne Park,
Mm.
Gainsborough Drive on the third Saturday morning of where are we? February, and then opposite St Mark's, another 200 trees on Brick Hill Road. So like that'll be 1,000 in
Lovely.
total. I think we
That's
did
fantastic.
about 1,200 trees last year. So that's
Do
the
you
little
ever
bits.
revisit and see how many have survived and keep a monitor on them out of interest?
I'm thanking you for the prompts actually, because we have actually got a group called Nature Rangers. See, we work well together, me and you, Tonya. We've got a group called Nature Rangers that go out every other Monday and go out and look after the trees. So we've gone and visited each of the sites because we did, I think it was 3 sites last year, and we cut round the trees and made sure they had water. But this group also does a little bit down our community allotment, which also meets every Monday, um, and also goes and does a bit of tidying up in different areas. So there's lots to do. This Monday, we should be talking about you, not me. But anyway, you started me off now. That's it. Um, this Monday, we're planning on cutting out a footpath in Park Farm. So I don't know if you know the lovely green footpath that goes from Hardwick Road across to Sywell Road.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
We're
yeah,
just off Hardwick Road. Well, the
yeah.
bit in between, there's two. There's one kind of not so nice footpath that goes past the depot. And then there's another one that kind of has been lost because basically it's slightly lower than the grass around it. So our little plan is to get some half moons, chunk it all out, and basically make that footpath good again so people can walk their dogs or whatever they do in Park Farm rather than just through the muddy puddles at the moment. So hopefully the weather, everything crossed, I've got my legs crossed and everything. Hopefully the weather on Monday between 10 and 2 is going to behave itself so we can do that. Anyway, I could ramble on about what I do forever. That'll be 2 hours on its own.
Yeah, probably there is a lot, Jonathan. There is a lot.
There's a fair bit that we do, yeah, and I do tend to ramble. So the two combinations is, well, what can I say? Should we listen a bit about, or would you like to tell us about what you're doing in your Northamptonshire Children's Trust?
Well, we are Northamptonshire Children's Social Care, and I work for the Children and Family Support Service. And part of what we do are parenting programmes. So we run positive parenting programmes that are for anybody to jump on and attend. I will send Jonathan over links because I could, try and describe. They're on our website. They're on the Children's Trust Facebook page and things. There's one for parents who have recently split or are co-parenting to look at those relationships and how they work with and how they impact on children, how co-parent well together, so that doesn't impact on the child so much. We do one that's from 0 to 12-year-olds. And we do another one that's for teenagers to deal with their behaviours. And, it's just tricks of the trade, really, isn't it? It's learning new things to try and approach. And we also do another one for parents of SEND children as well. So to help work with those. The Family Hub in Wellingborough is buzzing. It's got lots and lots of things happening for 0 to 2-year-olds. And there's also the Children's Trust Day and Plays there as well every week, which is up to 5 years old. Health officers are still doing their checks and things in there, but there's lots happening. So it's go to the Family Hub websites and go to the Trust websites to see what they're happening there, because I couldn't remember the timetable off by heart. It'd be too much.
Why not?
Why not?
Where is the hub?
Do you know Penrith Drive on the Queensway?
You'll
No,
know it as Sure Start, Val.
Yeah, remember the Shore Start Centre is on the Queensway?
no.
No,
No.
no. No, it's just up top. You go up a Harbit Road before you turn off onto the Queensway Road, and then you
Yeah,
take your first right up there, where the new houses have been built by Greatwell.
right.
Just up there is what's been a children's centre for many years, but it's now called, because the government have changed everything, it's now called a family hub.
Okay.
Okay, and yeah, so that's sort of open in there. We do contact in there, we run programs in there, and there's all sorts happening in there all the time.
Oh, that's
So,
interesting. Because we've got no we had no children, so we've never been involved in children things.
yeah.
But one of my partners in my team, she's got 2 young children, one of which has just been diagnosed autistic. And I know she puts them into children's clubs. But she might not know about this, so that
Yeah.
might be somewhere she could come.
There's a lovely new group as well called Sea of Support, which is led by parents. It's having its relaunch on the 11th of Feb. They're based over in Kettering, but that is for any parent of a child who's part of the neurodiversity, so ADHD, ODD, ASD,
Yeah.
PDA, dyspraxia, dyslexia. I could go on, list them all. The list, anything to do with neurodiversity. That's just really been relaunched support as well. But yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, so that's a nice peer support type approach for mums. You know, it's
Yeah.
for the adults, not necessarily for
Yeah.
the children. And they do daytime events as well, and things happening where children can attend. But I put together, as part of my role, a huge newsletter that goes out to all our schools, under 5 settings, all our teams. Jonathan, do you receive the Stay Connected?
No, I don't. We've talked about this before, and you exclude me on purpose. I'm sure you
No,
do.
I don't. I don't know why. Which email do you want it to go to, Jonathan?
The one that's on this for any of them will do. I know I've got an armada of emails,
Yeah,
but this
yeah,
one would be perfect.
yeah,
The
yeah,
info at
yeah.
wellingborough.org one.
I'll get you on our mailing list with that one. I might have had your co-op one at one point. I think that might be something to do with info.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
send it to
That's
me,
probably where
Jonathan.
it's
Yeah.
going.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing is, Jonathan can put it out on social media. It's on what's called a Sway document. So you can open it on your mobile phone and have a look. And we update that all the time with free and affordable things for families to do. There's one for the North and Northamptonshire, there's one for West Northamptonshire. And anything I can find that is going on that's £5 and under for a
Do you put,
child and families, I put on there with all the
do you,
links and how to book.
do you put it on LinkedIn?
No, I don't put. I'm not a social media guru. I create the newsletter. I send it out to everybody, and I hope people pick it up and stick it places. But it is to be shared. It's on our website as well. It's on the Children's Trust website. But basically, me and my colleague Rachel, we put all this information together, and lovely Fran helps us out, Jonathan. And we literally spend our lives finding out what's happening for families and people where nothing's going on. I'm thinking, well, there's that going on. It's Children's Mental Health Week, and there's mini mindfulness on in the library, and there's this that's going on for free, and there's that new club or that cooking group, and we literally put it all in this newsletter, and it's constantly updated. And the link is the same link. We never change the link. We just update it because it's a Sway document.
Well,
That's
I haven't
pretty
got
cool.
Facebook at the moment, so I
No,
probably
it's not. No, you can open it. Jonathan can send it out by email to you. It is
Okay.
literally, yeah. You don't need Facebook or anything. It's called a Sway, and you can open on. You click the link and it opens it up, and you just read it. It's just really easy document to do. But you can
Okay.
update it constantly without changing links. You know, so it's the same link. It will just say "Stay Connected Northants," and you can go on this week and have a look. And you go on in 2 weeks' time, and if I've had time, everything that's happened has been taken off and new stuff's been added.
Right.
Literally, yeah. And it's broken down into towns. So I'll have East Northants, Wellingborough, Kettering and Corby on there, county-wide and North Northants. And just scroll through and have a
Okay.
look, see what's happening. Lots of stuff
Yeah.
going on in there.
Yeah, forward it to me, Jonathan, and I'll forward it to
Yeah.
my partner.
Tonya's got
Yeah.
to forward it to me first. I don't know. Like I say, this may not
It'll be.
happen.
I am on leave Monday and Tuesday. I will apologise because I'm not. But no, the newsletter actually we send it out every month. We send it out at the beginning of the month, so it's being sent out next week. But you can look at it any time. We do update it throughout the month, but we don't promise it be completely up to date only when we send it out, because obviously we do have other jobs to do as well. But yeah, we do go through. I try and go through a couple of times a month and take things out and add things. But we have a big push and send it out at the beginning of the month. But it is a live document. You can always click on it. Always click on it.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It does sound amazing.
Got 40,000 views last year, so not bad.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
It's not quite as many as my social media for the co-op, I must admit I was doing. But I say that's because I was a tart. Do you know what I mean? And that was going everywhere.
I don't ever put it on social media.
So you imagine if it went to social media, you'd have billions.
Yeah, you can share it on social media. It's for the public domain. Nothing on there.
It is. Oh, okay, that's interesting.
It's on our website. The link is on our Children's Trust website for anybody to access. So yeah.
Without sharing it socially, like just relying on emails, which is
but I don't have a social media presence because of my work position.
Because your work position.
Well, yeah, because I work for the Children's Trust, so I do not have. I don't have. Do you know what I mean? I don't have. So it has gone out on our website, on our social media for Northamptonshire Children's Trust. But me personally, I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, you got somebody to do that. What, lovely Fran?
Fran, we have communications team that puts it out on our website, and they stick it on their social media, on Children's Trust social media. But how many people look at Northamptonshire Children's Trust social media? It's very different to what looks at others. So it's about people sharing it and things. Yeah,
that's good.
And I have to say I'm old and I'm not very good at all that social media stuff.
Come on, we're not having that. We're not having that. Crikey. I don't know. That's a terrible thing to say, isn't it? But there we go. Okay, right. I do have something else to share, which is quite exciting before I start talking about me, which is why I keep on looking a bit confused when I'm trying to operate buttons and stuff on the computer. I can build websites and do social media, but I can't press buttons on Zoom. It's a shame, isn't it? Right, let's have a go at doing this if I can get it to play. I had the pleasure of going to see, let's try and find the best photo. Here we go. That one will do. I had a pleasure. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, you've been at the motorcycle track.
There you go. So I went to the motorcycle track and I took a few pictures. This is possibly the best one. I've got about 4 or 5. And I met one of the helpers there. There's a couple of lovely ladies, including a lady called Race, who seems to be the one that's running it. She's certainly doing all the social media. That sort of touch bases is what we were talking about earlier. And if you can imagine, this a few weeks ago was basically a mess. Now it's less of a mess. So they've created this track. Can you see my mousy pointy thing?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they've created this track already. This is from, if you like, the Park Farm side. So this bit over here is the Budgeons warehouse.
Yeah.
Over there is Queensway. It's called the Queensway motorbike track. In honour of Reynolds, the chap.
No, Dylan.
Dylan, sorry, Reynolds is the chap that drowned. I do apologise, both.
Yeah, it's okay.
Well done. And what they're doing, I don't know if you can see just here, they are trimming back like all of these bushes and along here, so they can go right the way down to the bottom here. So this is only about 1/3 of it from what you can see. They're looking at extending that all the way down there. Now, the problem being is, and actually it wasn't wet that day and it hadn't been wet for a couple of days, is as you can see here, it does get quite wet. So hopefully when they've sorted it all out, and when obviously when the weather gets a bit better, I'm going to try and do that again. There you are again. Hopefully when the weather gets a bit better, it is going to look a little bit more usable. So there's a chap there, loads of tyres to share. Just behind this here is a burnt out porter cabin container. So they're hoping to do something with that as well. But you can see this raised flat area here has many opportunities as well. But I think the main bike track is going in the middle there. They are on Facebook, so unfortunately that counts you out a little bit, Val, at the moment. But I'm sure you'll talk about in a second. Let's see if I've got one more. There we go. This one more picture of them. Looks almost the same as the picture I just shared, doesn't it? It probably is, to be fair, but so I don't know, having two of the same pictures. They're going down there at least 3 times a week. Obviously, when the weather's not peeing it down, so today won't be a winner. They'll probably be down there from about 10 till 1 tomorrow. They were last Tuesday when I went and said hello. And they've got different builders merchants. The chap that you saw in the other photo was or is a gardener, very keen on motocross and stuff like that, actually from Rushden. So they're people from across sort of the local area sort of helping out with this, because there are no facilities for people doing sort of motocross and motorbikes and stuff in the area. So it's a proper dirt bike track. That's what they're trying to do. They are a community interest company. And like I say, they are open to donations. If you can find them on Facebook, I think that's the only presence that they've
I
got.
think they've got a GoFundMe open at the moment as well, haven't they, Jonathan?
They have indeed, yeah. I'm flicking through on my phone to see what they're up to. But yeah,
I'm sorry,
GoFundMe.
see, I told you I was nosy.
No, you're good. You're good. Race Cook has opened a GoFundMe. Let's see if I can get this to work. I doubt it, because I never get these things to work. But yeah, it's all about reopening the Queensway motorbike track. So far, they've raised 140 quid with 5 donations. They are aiming to raise 3.5 grand. So
They need to get toilets and things, don't they, up there, because you can't have things going on unless you've got the health thing going, and water.
Well, that's right. Yeah, we have the same issue down the community allotment. So, but actually, like I say, this isn't just like this family, this small group. It's had a lot of support from Paul Cunningham from the prison, who's now moved on to greater and better things. And of course, Father Ben from St Mark's has been absolutely supportive of this, and very, very supportive to Dylan's family, of course.
Yes.
It's a real sort of, I don't know, linchpin, I think, is the nicest way of the community. And obviously, like I say, there are some issues with bikes and stuff, particularly on the local estates. It's hoped that this will mean that the bikes will sort of have a place to go, rather than sort of whizzing around the different sort of parks and stuff. So should all be positives. It is next to a fairly noisy warehouse, so you're not going to be disturbing too many people. It is called the Queensway motorcycle track, but it's actually just on Park Farm, just to confuse you. So let's say there is parking next to the old home base warehouse.
Oh, is it down that way? I was thinking, where do you park for it?
Yeah, you know where like the home base one was.
Yeah.
It's probably not being used. But yeah, if you can go down there, if they haven't blocked it off, there is parking at the end of that road. And then obviously you can get through. I guess you could probably get through from Budgeon's side as well, because obviously Budgeon's is the one right next to it. But it's on the other side that you can sort of get your bikes through and stuff like that. And there is vehicular access as well. They do drive a Land Rover over to get the stuff in and out. They've had about 100 tyres delivered the other day as well. So got a lot of stuff to do down there. Definitely worth something sorting out. And obviously they're just at the initial stage. So hoping.
I think once they get toilets in, I think you'll be able to get more groups involved with volunteering.
Absolutely.
I think that it's the health and safety side of things. Because you've got various groups who do volunteering that work, or will go in and do work. Organisations go and spend a couple of days volunteering, but they'd have to have facilities for them to use while they're there, because obviously you can't go and spend a day there without a toilet.
Not really. But on that, young Tonya, the Eco Hub is about 10, 15 minutes if you're really slow, walking distance. And I have offered for anybody down there that can come and walk over the park, use our toilet, grab a free cup of tea whilst they're over there. And that's on Tuesdays 10 till 6 and Thursdays 10 till 2. So should anybody feel the need to have a free cup of tea, and obviously if they're desperate for a wee, they do have somewhere to go.
Couldn't we get a composting toilet going, Jonathan?
We could, but they are rather than hundreds, they're thousands of pounds.
Oh, are they? Oh, what a
Yeah,
shame.
so they
Yeah.
don't look expensive. I went camping during the summer,
Mm.
and it was very Heath Robinson, I think, is the best way of putting it. Like you felt like you were perching over a over the cliff face and pooing into a bucket. But yeah, apparently it's quite an expensive thing to set up. We have we have looked at it for the community allotment. But the other thing with Wellingborough, particularly where our allotments is, there are quite a few wells. So
Right, okay.
obviously,
You don't want it getting into the water, so yeah,
no,
no.
no, it's probably not the best thing is to be like pulling up sort of yeah,
Yeah.
people's excrement. But there we go. So there you go. So that's definitely worth something new, all shiny. Definitely worth. I said I'd share it. I was hoping they were going to come along. I did send them an interview, an invite to come along and explain much better than I could ever do.
I think a lot they all work, have part-time jobs and work, don't they, though? So it's the same as, it's all right for me, it's my day job to turn up to things, but when you've already got a job and then you're doing this on top of your job, it's very difficult to find that time, isn't it, to turn to everything.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, we all know a bit about that, trying to split ourselves in three fours.
Mm.
Anyway, I shall.
Oh, I have
Oh,
got one other update for you.
go on then.
Service 6 have got a new LGBTQ plus group going for over 18 to 25-year-olds now.
I muted myself there because I was going to try and blow my nose. Um, have they 18 to 24s? Well, that's
Yeah, they've got a younger group already going on up there, and
yeah.
quite a few of them reaching 18. They thought, well, let's start a new group. So they're doing an older group as well at Service 6 up at Sassoon Close on the Queensway, so once a week, which is really nice actually. So those young people haven't been forgotten. They're still being nurtured and still being. So that's open. Yeah, contact PEP.
Yeah,
So
no,
yeah,
I did pop in there and do some stuff with them during the summer holidays for a group of people that were turning that age. So
yeah.
it's a project about doing an eco sort of project. Funnily enough, I spent a couple of days up there trying to see what they were doing. Yeah, I have a theme, don't I? But there we go. Suppose we better talk about what the eco group are doing. We've talked about trees. We haven't talked about litter picking. We do our monthly 2-hour tidy up. Last month was, funnily enough, this is what's prompted me, around that area. So we did Shelley Park, as it's called.
Okay, yeah.
We got 38 bags. We got builders bags. We got tables, tires. Oh, horrible stuff. The amount of stuff. It was a big old pile. In conjunction with places for people who basically do a lot of the housing around there. So that was a result. We've got one in February, I believe that's at Ladywell Park, which is the new park near Ladywell Allotments, funnily enough, just near the other side of Findham Road. And then March turns up, and then it's the Great British Spring Clean. So
Oh,
that'll be in the town centre with the town council, funnily enough. That'll be our biggest litter pick of the year, hopefully. So that's already being promoted by Emma from Emma, the town council. Um, Loads of stuff. I think we're booked every month, which is fantastic because it's nice to know where you're going. And of course, we've got our fabulous Welly Wombles that we sort of were talking about before we went sort of on the tape, who are going out every day. They quite often now go out on a Tuesday morning as well for our Tuesday tidy ups. So we'll have them go out in the morning to various locations around the town, and then people get the opportunity in the afternoon to come to Eco Hub to have their own personal little Tuesday tidy up in around the Queensway estate, or they're more than welcome to come and borrow equipment and take it to where they want to go for the day, and then bring it back before we close at 6. Whilst they're there, they can come to Eco Hub, have a cup of coffee. It's open from 10 till 6, like I say. Free tea, free coffee. Up until 2 o'clock, there's free cooked food as well. We've also got loads of food from supermarkets with our food sharers project. That's also happening more and more on a Thursday now as well, between 10 and 2. So we're getting a lot of stuff from the co-op, which is great. Stuff from Tesco's too. We've got loads of ambient stuff as well that's gone past its date a little bit, so we've got to be a bit careful with that and tell people, see what it's like before you do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, of course, we've got our marvelous swap shop that before we went taping has been absolutely rammed with donations recently. So we did have over 1,000 DVDs. We've got more than 1,000 books at the moment. Got hundreds of clothes, including baby clothes, kids' clothes, adults' clothes. We've got our school uniform bank. So there's school uniform for all sizes, from preschool right the way up until sixth formers. Everything is available for a swap or a small donation to the group. If you want to pay by card, we've got a machine to do that too for you.
Jonathan, when you say small donation, what do you mean? Because that is just how long is a piece of string. It's very
It could
difficult.
be.
Yeah. And it's very difficult when you've got people who maybe haven't got into swap and haven't got a lot, and it's trying to give them some guidance about how much it would cost them.
Well, put it this way, most of the items probably would cost them about 50p.
Okay.
There are some larger items that might be more. Do you know what I mean? Like I slapped a price tag of a fiver on some really good photo pictures, big pictures we've got.
Yeah.
But I'm
So
saying to people,
I can put from 50p on there.
from 50p,
Thank you. Because it just makes it's very difficult for people to feel they can access something because they don't feel they've got enough to access it.
It's very. We describe ourselves as the cheapest charity shop in town, and actually, if somebody like yourself, for instance, referred somebody to us, we'd just give it to them. They don't even have to pay. So we do that quite a lot too, because the point of it is, and it was like the clothes were originally set up for the Ukrainians, so we got a big old selection of clothes for people that were having to come to this country, and they could fill their boots. We did that in conjunction with Glamis Hall, but we've just carried that on with a huge selection of clothes. We've got loads
Because
of
we have a
toys.
lot of families who are no recourse to public funds, you see, as well, which means they're not entitled to any benefits. So, and if something goes wrong or they're on a 0 hours contract, there's no work, they have no money coming in. So, yeah, we often get families. So, yeah, so it's good to know that you're happy for us to refer into you.
Well, all the food is free, so we never ask anybody for any money for the food. So it's not a food bank. It's simply to try and save the food from the bin. So, for instance, like it'll be a day out of date because it will have had a best before date of the day before. But best before isn't necessarily used by, and even used by, you've got a couple of days to play with.
You have.
Really. We tend to have anywhere between 10 and 15 crates of fresh food, be it bread, vegetables. We've got a fridge full of stuff. We've got a freezer full of stuff. There's all sorts there for people to come and help themselves to. If people feel like they want to donate, they can do. If people want to bring in a tin of beans and swap it for a cabbage or whatever, it's a sharing service.
Yeah, that's good to know.
If we have a glut, then we'll share it with Redeem Funds. If Redeem Funds has got anything left, they'll give it to us. So we try and work with all different people to do it. For instance, and this goes with the swap shop as well, to be fair. Face-to-face solutions are doing things in the town at the moment for homeless people.
I've seen that. Yeah,
really worthy. They came up the other day and we managed to fill their car for them full of stuff. Obviously, like I say, it's not like sort of brand new stuff, but loads of blankets, loads of like cushions. We must have given them about 20 cushions because obviously something that people don't generally think about is sort of supplying the comfort items. Obviously, your Tesco's and your Morrisons, I know, have donated and they've donated food. But things like cushions, you can imagine if you're like having to sleep on the street, something warm and comfortable to sort of perch on.
And the thing is, it could get wet and damaged, and then needs replacing when it's leaving on the streets.
Absolutely, and the reason why I've got a cold is because I had to keep on going in and out to cover all the stuff that we've got outside. On Tuesday, I don't know, remember Tuesday? It was bright sunshine, absolute deluge, bright sunshine. And Silly Sausage here decided to put everything out and then have to cover it up each time. So I caught a chill, bit of a shame.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's there for people. And on a Thursday, we have something called Eco Crafters as well in the mix with all that. as well as our Happy Cafe and the Swap Shop, and obviously increasingly food sharers, where people can come in and bring their own craft stuff and give it a go and have some advice. That also is on a Monday night called So Social. That's basically just crafting. Then obviously you're not necessarily going to get a load of people coming in for a bowl of soup or something. You can just get a lot of people together to sort of do some crafting. We're also running some courses with the Wellingborough Climate Action Project and Glamis Hall. Lots of crafting opportunities there. Emma, who's at the hub, is currently doing an upcycling denim one. They've had 2 courses. There's one more to go, not this Saturday, next Saturday. We're doing a couple of gardening ones. I'm personally doing one tomorrow. I think there's still a couple of spaces left on that. My voice is going, it's a shame. And that's how to set up an allotment. So allotments for beginners, it's called.
You didn't see my allotment.
Well, it couldn't have been worse than the plot we decided to try and renovate, but now it's just a blank canvas.
Yeah. We just go with the flow with our allotment. We've only got half an allotment and it's perfect for us. So yeah, we grow enough on it for us. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, that's
not organised anyway.
Well, this is going to be fairly organised, because I'm trying to teach people how to plan an allotment, what to grow, what to sow, where to put things on the allotment to try and make it work for them. And then what we're going to do with this site, after we've set it all up, is then have micro plots for some of the older people that are on the allotment, Ladywell allotments, that may want to give up their plots. We've had a lot of people say they're going to give up because they're getting a little bit older, a little bit harder to do stuff.
Some of the allotments are quite big. I mean, this is why we as a family just have a half allotment. It's half the size, and that is big enough for us to keep on top of then and not feel, so.
Yeah, so we're hoping to offer some of our oldies, if you like. And I'm probably going to get shot down for saying that, because I'm also the chairman of Ladywell Allotments as well, by the way, just in my spare time. So we're hoping to offer a few managed sort of plots so that they can still join in at the allotment, have the outdoor experience and grow some stuff.
And it's good for their well-being, isn't it, and health.
Absolutely.
So health and well-being.
It's good for everybody's well-being, but it does it. I don't know. It's really difficult when you see people who are struggling, and we've noticed a few last year. And a lot of allotment associations will be like, "No, you've got to get off because you're not doing it. It's not tidy enough," or something like that. To try and give them the other solution. Anyway, that's the plan. We'll see. Other things the Eco Group doing. We are running out of time. Our repair cafe is a week on Saturday. It's completely full, but apart from clothing repairs, anything fabric you can bring in and we'll try and fix. If you want to book in an electrical item or a bicycle or anything like that, if you go to the Eco Group's website and look for the repair cafe, you can book it in for next month. If it is a computer item, i.e. an IT item, we are have a session the following Thursday, 6 till 8, called How to Fix IT. So you can just bring stuff along. I think we've got somebody bringing their printer along who's got a bit of paper stuck in it. But whatever it is, it might even be, I don't know, Val, like your Facebook issue. It's not working at the moment. We'll try and get it fixed for you. So if it's a technical issue, there's about 3 of us there to try and help people, and also to teach people how to do it for themselves.
Believe you me, this is more complicated than that, because I've spoken to several IT people, and it's just a joke. And I've now got Gem Kitchen on it, because apparently they take more notice of a parliamentary email. So she's got her caseworker on it. So, but this has been going on since the 13th of December, so it's not. And every so often I get a email from Facebook saying you can now unlock your account, but it doesn't work because whoever hacked me has changed a load of settings.
Nice one. Yeah.
Oh, joys.
It is hard, isn't it? Particularly, I'm not saying it's not you, Val, but if you're not completely on it, even the simplest settings can be really confusing, which is why we do things like the how to fix IT sessions. Not sure we're going to be able to sort that one out for you. Obviously, a
I don't
locked
think so.
Facebook account is something different, but
Mm.
like
Yeah.
I say, you never know. We could, somebody might know something that me and you don't know, Val. Who knows? That's the
Maybe.
thing about a mutual support thing. We've also got a couple of kids groups just to finish off. We've got an eco club for kids that's now running every fortnight, 4 till 6 on a Friday, just before our games night, which is 6 till 8 every Friday. And we've got a Polish community group called Noughts and Crosses every other Wednesday. Yeah, always clashes with the football for me. Typical, isn't it? Absolutely typical.
Dreadful.
They're at the hub, and they like have a few people from the Polish community and their children together to network. They're now going to start flip flopping because obviously we do have a bit of a space issue down at the Eco Hub between us and Tesco Community Room. But all these little groups, and I've probably missed a few because we talked about them earlier, are all sort of Wellingborough Eco groups within a group. And now the actual whole group is a community interest company. So starting from
Okay.
January, which is jolly exciting, we're now a legal entity.
Oh, so that means you can put in lots more funding bids, doesn't it?
Which is why I was particularly, I'm glad you're good, you are, which is why I was particularly excited to see Fran's email earlier via you regarding the funding fair that's happening in
This
February.
is why we need to get you signed up to these networks. So I'm getting all this information. So yeah, we'll have a chat, Jonathan, next week.
We will have a
after-
chat.
Get
Me
back
and
off
you
leave.
need a chat, but this is what this is about: is having a chat.
Yeah.
Would anybody else? I know it's now 3 o'clock. It's 3:01. Would you believe? Has
Oh.
anybody else got anything else to add or share?
Well, I'll go back to what I was asking you in the first place.
Go on.
Would you like to come along as a visitor to my BNI?
It sounded really interesting. Yes, I would. If you can share the details with me or send me an invite. I must admit, I must admit, I do have a memory like a mouse
Right.
or a goldfish. So do share it to me. If it's in writing, I can do something with it.
It's not that. If you'd like to come, it's every Wednesday morning, and you need to give me a Wednesday date, and then I'll ask you for the information, and then you will get it automatically come to you.
I'll have a look at my diary and send you a message after this. I've got to go
Okay.
and pick up my boy from school.
Yeah,
But
that's fine.
if that's all right, I can do that.
And then you have an opportunity to do a 60-second pitch about what you do.
Well, you can see that's going to be a problem because I'd
Yes,
spent.
I
Oh,
know.
you have to practice, John. Stopwatch.
Anyway, before we go, we do share everything. So if you can see that screen there,
Yeah.
we have a website, wellingborough.org. It has a calendar that the Eco Group, that Glamis Hall, that the library and others do sort of contribute to. It should be fairly up to date. If it isn't, I'll accept a rap on the knuckles. We have our Wellingborough Organisations Facebook group that's just for community posts, despite every business in the whole town trying to post on it.
Yeah.
We have Wellingborough Forum that is for anything. So please, businesses, if you are watching, do post on Wellingborough Forum rather than Wellingborough Organisations. There's also a Wellingborough Forum on Nextdoor, which is particularly good for people of a certain age because they don't trust Facebook. And we share everything everywhere. So if you've got stuff, Tonya, Val, everybody, share it with me and I'll do my best to share it.
Okay.
I think that's about it, you know. All that remains for me to say, if I can get the button to work, is thank you very much for joining our community forum. And like I say, if anybody wants to join us next month, always, as Tonya said earlier, on the last Friday of the month, I'm going to cut it and say we're going for 1:30 next time, Tonya.
Oh,
Fine.
Let's push the boat out at Eco Club and on Zoom. Do join us. It will confuse the life out of everybody being at 1:30, but it does mean that hopefully more people can join us. So let's stop share. Let's get our lovely faces back in the room. And thank you for joining me. and I'll see you soon. I'll see you
Absolute
both
pleasure,
soon by the
Jonathan.
sound of it. Huh?
Yeah, we will do. It's an absolute
Thank
pleasure as
you.
always.
All right.
See you
Thank you
soon.
very much.
Bye.
Yeah,
Bye.
Yeah.
bye.
See
Bye.
you later. Thank you both.